Okay, good morning, world. This is, excuse me, Monday, what?
11.
January 11th, 2016. Okay. Just want to get that on the record because we've been doing these virtually every class since we started. No, since about 2012. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How's the weather in California today?
Kind of cold. Everyone says it's cold.
It's cold.
Okay.
It's
Clear and cold?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, good. Well, let's jump into it right away. We're starting a little bit late. So this week we're doing Google Forms. Google Forms is it is an app, but we don't consider it one of the primary apps. So what I want everybody to do, once again, is either go to your page, your Google Apps page that has an X on it, or if you don't have that page, start a new page, the right-hand side of the book, your composition book, and put a big X in the screen. So, Deanna, what is one of the apps that we learned?
Google Voice.
Okay, Voice. And Larry, what's one app? We do this every Monday. You should have it in your book. Oh, you lost your book, right? You lost your book, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get him another book, and then you can put this on there. Ed, what's an app?
Voice. That was hard to do. 1 out of 8.
We already have Voice.
Gmail.
Gmail, good.
Oh.
Okay, do you have one, Larry? Jesus.
Google Plus.
Google Plus.
Yep.
Okay, YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, now when you have that, put another one in so you have an asterisk. And Marty, calendar, Matt,
Drive.
Drive. Okay, Deanna, Chrome.
Okay. I'll be ready next time.
Okay, and what?
Maps. That's it. Maps.
Maps.
is what I
Good.
got it right here.
Maps. Right. Okay. So these are the 8 Google apps that we do, but why does Chrome have a box around it?
Because it's really a browser. It's not a
Yeah, it's a program. It's a program, not an app. And for our purposes, a program is something that's stored on the computer. An app is a program that's stored somewhere out there on the cloud. Right. Now, many of these apps have sub-apps. This week, we're doing Forms, and Forms is where? We're on this drive, right. So Forms is a sub-app of Drive. Forms could be the app that you have down cold when you're in your interview and you say to them in answer to the question, Jesus, why should we hire you?
I can make you money and save you money.
Okay, well, that's close. Not convincing. You want to put a little more energy into it. And then the guy says how or why, right? And then you say what? Okay.
On the cloud.
Okay, right. So you should write these things in your book if you don't know. Okay, because you're not going to want to say, Okay. Yeah.
Those ones in red, those are sub apps.
No, they were all apps. It's just the green pen is running out of ink.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so Forms is a sub-app in Form that we're doing this week. It's an app, but we call it a sub-app because you get to it through what? Through one of the apps, and you get to it through Drive. You can't really get to Forms. It's not designed to get to Forms directly. It's designed to go to Drive and get to Forms. Could you save a shortcut? Yeah, you could. But that's not how Google designed it. That's just a nice thing that you've done. So, one take home is Forms could be an app that you know cold, so when you're sitting in the interview and the guy says, why should we hire you? and you say, what, Marty?
I can make you more money.
Yeah, but not with the question mark at the end. Okay? You have to say it assertively, and don't shake your head this way. I can make you more money than anyone else, because it's like Amy Cuddy said, it's the nonverbals. So they say how, and one of your answers is because I know the cloud and I can bring this company to the cloud. I can bring this to the cloud. And they say how. Now is showtime. Now you have to be prepared. Now's the opportunity that if you get them to believe in you, that yeah, you do know this, and the cloud is important, what happens if they believe you?
You get hired.
Yeah, unless there's somebody who knows it better than you that's more persuasive, etc. But if that's the case, you don't need to feel bad. So forms is the perfect one. Why would forms be a great one to know? Cold.
Because it's easily shown. It's something.
Okay, it's easily shown. Okay, it's easy to collaborate. Every business has all kinds of forms. You know, one of the fundamental things of moving from the paper business to the cloud is you don't have any paper forms anymore. You only have printed form, or not printed forms, you have electronic forms. And if you do have a printed form, why is that?
Because your guests don't use computers.
No, you have a printed form because it needs to be signed, or somebody needs a hard copy, they need a hard copy. Okay. That's the only reason businesses on the cloud print stuff is it needs to be signed, and you need a signature. But you don't print the form. What do you print?
The form response.
Yeah, you print. It could be like in mail merge. What's mail merge?
You take two email addresses and put them together.
Okay, what's mail merge? Okay, that's anybody else? Okay, so mail merge is a product by Microsoft, and it's where you have a form letter. Everybody's seen a form letter, right? And there are little wild cards here that are filled in separately to be customized for you. So one of the great things about forms is somebody fills out a form. Okay, Larry, you have these things?
Yeah.
Okay. You fill out a form. So somebody fills out a form. It looks like that. And where does that go?
Like in Google, that goes to a spreadsheet.
Okay, yeah, it goes to a spreadsheet. Okay, spreadsheet. Now, what can you do from here?
Well,
Form to spreadsheet.
you have a database now.
Okay, you can manipulate the data, right? You can analyze. And another thing you can do, oops. Is you could go to mail merge. So you would output a document. So you create a form letter, let's say it's for Chow Tutti. And let's say we wanted to have a document to send to all of the people every month who advertise in Chow Tutti. So we could have a form letter, instead of saying, "Dear Sir," what would it say?
Dear Chow Tutti reader or subscriber.
Would actually have their name, Cugino's
sorry.
Bar, or the owner of Cugino's Bar, Sam. Let's say, "Sam, dear Sam, thank you for advertising in Chow Tutti with your blank," but it's not blank, your quarter-page ad.
So you'd have the cell go to that spot in the email.
So with mail merge works with the spreadsheet and fills in the blanks.
Okay, so you're
That you
selling
do.
a spreadsheet, like the address would then go to that spot in the mail merge.
Right. Well, the mail merge is set up to go here to pull it out.
Okay.
Okay, that's a very powerful tool. So this is one way of how it works. the purpose or the value of a form, because how did it work in the old days when you have to fill out, let's say you go to the doctor's office today, and they give you what?
Insurance forms.
A clipboard, right? And then what has to happen?
Well, you have to fill everything
You
out.
fill it out, you give it back.
And
Then
then she
what?
gives it back to you because you filled something out wrong.
Maybe,
And
right? So let's say you go back and forth, and then you finally give them that form. What happens?
Then you'll go back and wait for the doctor to call you. I mean, you don't see the
They type
form.
it in.
You sit down, but what happens to that piece of paper?
They type
It gets
in
filed
somewhere.
and you never see it.
Okay, so a couple things happen. One is somebody might enter it by hand into the computer. The other thing is they get this manila folder, right?
Oh.
And then they do this and they put your name on it, and then they have to go file it somewhere. And then every time you come back, they put stuff in that folder. So with the cloud, you don't need to do that anymore. You have a tablet. You walk into the doctor's office, they give you a tablet.
Really?
Or you don't even need a tablet. You just, they say, here's this little barcode or here's this little QR code. Take out your cell phone, boop, beep on it, and then up comes the form.
Yeah, my insurance card has a chip on it with all the information. So they just put the chip in and boom, it's
Okay.
there.
So nowadays, they can give you a tablet, and when you hit submit, where does it go? Spreadsheet.
Electronic.
It goes to the spreadsheet. And then they can have somebody look up your data.
That's basically what they do with the VA. Put your VA card in there, your ID, it scans it, pulls up your information on a kiosk, you type it in, boom,
Okay.
you're done.
How long have they done that?
6 years that I know.
Okay. Now, what about before? What did they do?
Like you said, folders.
Yeah. So then it was really probably a stage 2 tribe, right? You got to go to the DMV, and the attitude is,
These
how could
people are
people be
idiots.
so stupid and yet live? Okay, so this is where we're going with forms, and this week we're going to do collaboration on forms. So we're going to work together to create forms, and then we're going to create forms on our own. Forms are very functional, okay, because it's a more efficient way to get a lot of data. With on the Chowtuti website, chowtutimagazine.com, there's a thing in there that no matter where you are, if you want to be a subscriber, you want to get information, just fill it out, and it goes to a database. And from that database, now it's manipulated. I then import it into our MailChimp, a electronic version of the magazine that goes out every Monday morning at 9:15. So, what's the fundamental benefit, Jesus, of the cloud? Why is everybody moving to the cloud?
It's,
Dina, why? Deanna, I'm sorry.
Because it's free and it's faster.
Okay, but why are people moving to the cloud? Not just because it's free. Huh? What do all businesses want? There's two things all businesses want. Marty,
Easy access.
no,
Money.
not even thank you for playing it. Make money and save money. Okay, that's what businesses want. Now, when we say businesses, we're not talking about the government workers. We're not talking about nonprofit companies, even though they want to make money too. We're just focused on for-profit businesses that only exist to make money. And one of the ways to make money is to save money, to be efficient. So businesses are motivated to make money, and part of that is to save money. Part of the way you make money is you save money. Mostly you make money by selling more, having more customers that spend money more often. So the reason to use the cloud is you're going to make more money, or you're going to save money. You're going to make money by having more customers, or you're going to save money by being more efficient. Instead of having people have you run around maintaining all these file cabinets, now whoever's sitting at their desk has access to all of the information. You don't need to say anything to anybody. So businesses are moving to the cloud because it enables them to make more money or save money. It's very simple. All businesses are going to do it. It's just like all businesses that delivered beer with horse-drawn wagons all stopped doing that. Nobody does that anymore. It doesn't make any sense. So these are the things that you need to have as your foundation, because when you go into your interview, if you can't articulate this, what's the result?
Not gonna get hired.
Yeah, because they're not going to believe you. If you say, I know the cloud, and they say, what does that mean? And you say, that's kind of like gun in mouth, pull trigger type of thing. So it's important to know the fundamentals and the foundation of why we do these Google Apps things. That is the thing that levels the playing field for our people. And it doesn't matter whether it's an office job or one of these Fifth Avenue restaurant group jobs where they're looking for managers. They want people that are going to make them money. And if you're in a restaurant, how do you make more money?
Sell more food.
More customers, right? Or your customers spend more money. Or your customers come back more often. They make it part of their thing. At the Italian American Club, which is this ad here, the typical member of the club goes to the club at least once a month. Some people go every week for dinner. Okay? The club is doing the right thing. They're doing a very good job of getting people to do that. And so now the challenge is you have to make reservations eat at the club. You can't just show up. How does the cloud help that?
Well, let's do the reservation form first.
Right, you do the reservation form, exactly right. You do a reservation form, you fill out a reservation, and then it gets back to you and says, okay, or sorry, we can't do it. So, the key thing is to know that the cloud is what separates us from every other school and from people that are already employed or people that you're competing with for a job. Thus, you need to take the time to know this. And Forms is an app that is easy for people to understand and easy to know. And if you've done your research on the company, what should you have prepared already?
You can have a form ready to go.
You can already have a form. You can have a form ready to go for them. And if you have a smartphone, what would you do?
Well,
If you want to give the guy,
give a demonstration.
well, you don't want to give him your
Email
phone.
the form to him.
Okay, so what do you need to do to make it easy to email it to him?
Have his email address.
Well, let's say you don't have his email address.
Have your phone synced with Google. Have your phone synced with your Google account.
Well, I'd already
Well,
have that.
You need to do that, but what you're going to be doing in an interview is you're going to say, let me show you a form I can prepare. But you need to email it to him.
Could you bring your tablet with you and show us?
No, because it gets to be too kooky.
Okay.
If people don't feel comfortable looking at somebody else's thing.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to send him an email. So you say, okay, well, what's your email address? And he says, hetsandpetsa@whatchamacallit.com.
You put it in your form.
You already have an email that you sent yourself or someone else that you can just send to them.
Oh, just email the email.
Just send them another email that you've already done. So all you need to do is pull up that email that you already did, put in that person's name, just forward the email to him. It already has the link in there to the form. Is that person going to be impressed if they get? You say, well, what's your email address? Blah, 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 blah. You type it in, you hit send. He says, oh, I got it. Then he opens up the email, and there's a link in there.
Right.
He clicks on the link, and now the form pops up.
But then you go to step 2 and show them how it goes to the spreadsheet and surprise them there.
Okay, so then you do that too. That's right. So after you do that, so how do we get to forms?
Go to Drive.
Everybody go to Drive. How do we get to Drive? 9 square grid, and then what? Click on Drive, right? Okay, so what folder are you guys going to be going to?
Right now, it's going to be in our school folder.
Okay, go in your school folder, and you should create a subfolder called what?
Google Apps.
Okay, you should have a folder called Google Apps, right? Now, what should you put as a subfolder of that?
Forms.
Forms. create a subfolder called forms. So again, in your drive, you have your my drive. Right? You're going to have one folder called school. Okay. And then in your school folder, you're going to have one called Google Apps. And then in your Google Apps folder, eventually you should have 8 subfolders, one for each app. So you would have a folder called Forms. What did we do last week?
Last week,
I know it was a long time ago. Okay, okay, docs. And so in here, when you graduate, you take this folder here, and you move it out of your school folder into your main directory called Google Apps. Then when you're at work, what do you have? You have easy access to everything that we did in here to help you learn. Okay, so you should have a folder called Forms. No, create a folder called Forms. So how do we create a folder, Ed?
You're gonna go to you're gonna go up to your My Drive.
Yeah.
You're gonna open up My Drive.
No,
Or when you share with me,
I open my Google Apps folder.
we're gonna go to the
So right up here, is after my drive, it's going to say
all the
Google Apps.
that we have.
It's going to know. So okay. So you have my drive, and then the next level would say my folder. I mean Google Apps or school. It would say school.
Okay, yeah, I got school.
Okay.
Right. So we're gonna be going to forms and docs, or we're gonna be creating
You
forms.
need to create a folder called Forms. Okay, so you go down as far as you can. So what you would have here highlighted on your screen is one that says Google Apps. Okay, then what do you do?
Go to new folder.
Go to New, right? And you click on a folder. And then you name it what?
Forms.
You name it Forms. Right. Okay, now everybody should be in Forms. Phyllis, is everybody in Forms?
So now I'm
Okay, so let's say you're in Forms. How do we create a form?
Make sure that's highlighted that you're in the correct folder. Go to new, go to more, and then there should be one that says purple one.
Okay. So you go down, you click on New. Once you're in the folder you want, you click on New, then what?
Go to more, then forms.
More, and then you click on Forms. Create, and then you create the form. Now what do you have?
now you have an untitled form.
Exactly. So what is the way that we start doing stuff whenever we're in a Google app?
We title it.
We start at the top and work down. And usually that is a title. So let's call this form sample form. Okay, so now we have a sample form. Does anybody have a thing on there that says try the new Google Forms? Okay, we're not going to do that. Don't click that now.
I have welcome to Google Forms.
Okay.
I have more like that.
Well, Phyllis can help you in a second. Okay, now what's up there?
A sample form question number 1.
Question title. Okay, so here's an important thing to know, and on your page where you're taking notes about forms, you always have to be thinking about sorting the spreadsheet. Okay, so let's say you have a thing that says name, and you have one field for name. How might somebody, let's do your name. Let's use Matt as an example.
Yes.
So it says name.
Yes. You go first.
What could you do? Okay, so you could do Matt.
I can do first and last. I can do last name only. I can do
You
last
could
name
do
first.
Matthew, right?
Yes. I could do Matthew Gordon. I can do Matt Gordon. I can do Gordon Matthew.
Yeah. Okay, now is that gonna, you can do your nickname,
Yes.
okay?
All right. You want it so it's going to be alphabetical.
So what's the problem with that?
You have to be consistent with
The problem is if we're looking for Matt and there's only one field for name, he might be under M or he might be under G.
Well, there might be more than one Matt.
Well, but it'll say Matt Gordon. But yeah, there presumably should be many Matts. Okay, so what do we really want to do? So the first best practices in forms is you always have to think about sorting the thing. So you want to have first name
Just first name for the first question.
and then last name, right?
So question 1, first name. Question 2, second name.
Yeah.
Last name.
Yeah, so let's do that. So type first name.
What is your first name?
Just type first name.
Oh.
Now, here's an important thing. Question title is whatever you put there is exactly what it's going to say at the head of that spreadsheet. So if you have something that's a really long paragraph,
Cut it down.
that means you're going to have this really long header. So the long stuff you put under help text.
Okay.
So the long paragraph you have,
You're just your question and then help if somebody doesn't understand it, and then
well, it'll show up. So it says first name. Now under help, you might say, type in your actual first name, not an abbreviation.
But would that show up, or would that just be
It
what
shows
the
up.
help link?
No, it shows up. Okay? So first name. Now, let's go here, question type.
Text.
Change it to text. Okay? Down before we had done, required question. If you check that, that means they have to fill it in. So some things you want people to have to answer, but not everything, because it makes it very cumbersome. Okay, boom, hit done. Now, if you want to do another question, there's 2 ways to do it. One is you hit add item, the other one is you hit copy.
It wouldn't copy your question, just the form box.
No, it copies the question. So if I did this, it would say first. Right. So this one, so the other way, the way I like to do it, is I like to make a copy of the question, and then I would just come in here and type last. Okay? The hardest part in forms is being consistent. So do you type first name, last name, all caps? First letter capitalized? Do you put a colon after it?
Is it respondents?
No. See, I could have said first name, all lower caps.
Okay.
I could have said capital F, capital N. I could have put a colon after it.
Isn't it assumed if you don't specify, it should just be first letter capitalized, just like normal? I mean,
So here's how I do it. Capital F, lowercase name.
oh,
Okay. I don't put a colon. My point is this. It doesn't matter how you do it. You need to be consistent. Okay.
So you direct them by the way your example is. Like
You just need to be consistent, because when somebody gets the form, they're going to spot in 2 seconds, this isn't consistent, and then they're going to think, wow, they can't even design the form right. They don't know what they're doing. And it's very hard. And when we come through here and we do, our challenges are winning a Starbucks card with different teams. Why do people always lose, Phyllis?
Little mistakes.
Little grammatical mistakes, not the big things. Okay, first name, last name, then what?
well, let me do many things.
So let's say address.
Street address, we want address.
Well, I say address. Now, what does that mean for most people? I don't know. So you got to ask another question. City. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to give them choices of cities because we want it to be fast. So in your city, it's not going to be a text. It's going to be multiple choice. So let's type in Las Vegas. Henderson, North Las Vegas. And then, as Mark just said, or other, because you don't really want to have list everything there. So you put other, and then you get done.
Any required, required on that? Or?
I usually don't. And then what do we do next?
Well, then a phone number?
Oh,
Okay,
Zip
now,
code, zip code, I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, so normally it would be city, state,
But we know
zip.
these are all,
These are all Las Vegas, but what if we had Phoenix?
then we know the state. Well, then we should ask them the state.
Okay, but we have other. So best practices is just to add a field for state.
State, not Nevada, or just state?
So you say NV, SCA, maybe AZ, if we thought it was local.
Should we put another in there?
And then we do have other. Okay? Add item, what's the next item?
Next time is
And zip code. So I just put in zip. And this is what? It's a text. Now let's look at our form so far. How do we do that? View live form. Okay, that's how our form looks. It's at the top of your page. View live form is right here. Okay, so you view live form, and let's say we like it, but it's just not really sexy. So how do we do that?
Go to edit and change colors.
Okay, so we go back to the other page, go to change theme. And we have some default themes. Now what they've done on these default themes is they've got different letter sizes, styles, fonts, colors, etc. already, so it's a shortcut. So here's what the form looks like now. So you notice it changed. The background, there's a little picture on it. The font style's different. It's blue over here.
Looks nice.
Looks a lot nicer, right? Okay, but if I want to change it even more, I click here where it says customize. And from here, now I can change everything. I can change the header image, the title, and so by title, it's the font, bold, size, the color, is it centered, left justified, right justified, etc. The description, if I click on that again, I can change the font, color, size, where it is, etc. The question, I can change that. Options, form background, page background. So page background is, if I don't want it black, let's say I wanted it yellow. That's all I have to do, is change the background color. Okay. Form background is this here. So I can change that as well.
Then I can let you go black on black.
Well, let's see. So just step back for a second, think about this. Wow, all of this free. All of this free. How can they do it?
Well, they can keep every candidate typed in those ones and put them in their database. So it will.
So, okay, so there's our sample form. Oh, and then we would just go back here, click View Live Form. And then there's our sample form. That's how easy it is to do a form. So let's fill out our form. Okay, and address, city, Nevada, zip. I do that, and then I hit submit. Great, my thing has been saved. Now, I go back to the one that I was using to build this with, and I click view responses. And what happens?
You're going to see a spreadsheet.
Okay, I see a spreadsheet and it has my stuff in there. And here's one of the most important things to know about the spreadsheet. The first column is a timestamp. The person who's filling in the form, they don't get to screw around with that. So this is like an independent thing saying, here's when that was filed. Here's when they did it. Here's when they submitted it. Now, but that's not all. It gets even better. This is like Ronco, right? Vegomatic. So now we're in the spreadsheet. Are there things we can do with the spreadsheet? Sure. How?
Well, you click in the cell.
Well,
Edit it.
okay, that you can do that. That's not what I'm thinking. So up here at the top, we go to add-ons. And click where it says add-ons. What are these?
Those are extensions.
These are all little extensions and apps that are part of the spreadsheet that makes it even easier to do things with the spreadsheet.
What did you say, click add-ons?
Yeah, the word add-ons, click on that. So there's some things here. Okay, this one is called yet another mail merge. Remove duplicates. Would I want to have that in a spreadsheet? Probably.
I'm surprised it's not in the code already.
No, they don't do that with Google Analytics. Fonts. Merge values. Split names. What do you think that does?
Say this names to branch the block into two.
Yeah, so if somebody had a thing that said name, you can split it into two parts. The problem is, though, it's not really necessarily going to know what the first name and last name is. It's going to take what was first and put it in the first column. It makes it a little bit easier. Reminders, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
You have the next generation label printing system for the activity.
Okay, so these are, and we use Flubaroo here when we do ours. The multiple choice questions that you do on the weekly quizzes, we use Flubaroo to grade them. Okay, so we're just about out of time. So this is just, today is just a glimpse of what you can do in forms. So what we should have gotten by now is this what? One way to describe forms.
It's an easy way.
Easy. Okay.
Curve data to a spreadsheet.
Mark, what's another word you'd use to describe forms? Easy, free, okay? Do you think we can collaborate?
I think so.
Okay, so we'll go here. Go to edit. File. Okay, email collaborators. Okay, so I can share this and other people can be working on it at the same time. In fact, tomorrow, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do just like we did last week in Docs.
From the live form, how do we get back to the regular form?
Well, so you should have many tabs up here.
Automatic, I've got forms, we have automatic sample form, sample form response. There it is, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so you've got it. So one of the things to do in forms is every time you go to one of those things, it's going to open a new tab. The good part is you can go back to the old tab. The other part is if you're not careful, you're going to end up with 22 tabs open. And so it's just a good practice to go through, and as you don't need a tab anymore, close the tab.
So the only two that are going to be in your drive are the sample form that we can edit and the actual spreadsheet responses.
Correct. Now, when you do the form, once you have a live form, what do you send to people?
You send them the live form.
You send them the live form. You should also have the app that is called the shortener.
Oh, I do.
Okay, which I don't see on this. Even though that's no. Okay.
When we have that, would you expect a copy or details?
So you would, if we're going to send somebody the form, we could go in, have the form up, the view live form, the live form up, select it up here in the what is this called? Omnibox. Right click, copy. Go into Gmail, or we can go into what? Google Plus. Let's say I wanted to send it to somebody in Google Plus. I click on that. What's new? Right click, paste. Processing the thing right here, right? Okay, there's my form. Who do I want to send it to? Send. So once you do a form, the important thing is getting the form out there for other people to fill out. So one way is you send it to people as an email. Another way would be to send it as a Google Plus message, right? Post it on Google Plus. You can copy and paste it into a website. There's a lot of things you can do. So what did I do? I just put it on Google Plus and shared it with my private circle. But let me now share this post with everybody in the class. Okay, so everybody now go to your Google Plus. So you should have this in Google Plus. Oh, I'm going to share this with California too.
I mailed it to myself.
Okay. Okay, did everybody get my form? Who did not?
I did.
Okay, are you in Google Plus? The other thing you can do in Google Plus, if it doesn't show up on your sheet, is click the bell over here.
I'm not, I need permission. Did you need permission
Oh.
for only be viewed by users in the organization?
I thought I added an LTCLB. Okay. So that means I did not create it in LTCLB. It wasn't in the shared folder.
Will you be at home?
Okay. So that's it. So it's break time, and let me chat with Dennis.
I emailed it to myself, and I was able to send it. That's because it was a linked email, so that's all.
You have yours.
I have a different email account that I mailed it to, and it's there.
Yeah.
It's open.
Okay. Dennis, any, how did everybody do in California?
We're doing, we went with generic form. So
Okay, that sounded good.
okay. We went with the form. That way you could be on the same side.
Good. Okay, so we're going to pick this up tomorrow.
Okay.
And what we're going to do tomorrow is what we usually do on day 2, which is break up into teams and create a forum.
Okay.
Okay?
We have a new thing to do.
Oh, good. Well, we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll
good.
try to find a new student here. Okay, thanks everyone in California.
You're welcome.